Welcome to Ghosted by the Machine, the show where real people tell their real job stories behind the algorithms, the bots, and the black hole of online hiring. I'm your host, Mark Lane. Let's get into it. 5 minutes, 5 questions with today's guest, LaShonte Mayfield from Warren, Michigan, a senior HR hybrid leader. Welcome to the show, LaShonte. Tell me a little about yourself and how long you've been in the job market.
All right. Thanks, Mark. I really appreciate you having me on today. Like you said, I like to refer to myself as a senior human resources hybrid of learning and development, people operations, and HR technologies. I've been in this space for over a decade and have a collective career library of over 20 years. What I'm looking for, if we point back, I'm intentionally looking at senior roles that reflect my skill sets for learning and development, talent development, employee engagement, enablement management, and HR technology. I'm really seeking opportunities to help teams write their new chapter, one where employees feel even more connected, where leaders feel more supported, and learning becomes a strategic amplifier instead of just a checkbox.
Okay. So you've been out of work, you told me earlier, since early December.
Yes.
So you're new at this. Has a job search changed? Do you feel like the process is different than when you were looking for a job earlier in your career?
It has changed significantly. It has literally did a backflip.
What's a moment during your search that's really messed with your confidence? Even though you knew you were good at what you do, has it kind of changed? Can I really do this? Is the market going to open up for me? Am I going to get a job?
Yes, just in looking at how the platforms are now incorporating AI into almost everything, it's really being a disservice to applicants. And that's where I lose a little bit of confidence, because I believe that a human touch is still needed, even with these platforms, and selecting the right applicants, making sure an individual is a value add to your organization, making sure that all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed. AI is a great tool, but it has to be used intentionally. I don't think that we're there yet.
There's so much pressure to sound polished and on brand. How hard has it been to stay true to yourself?
I like to really keep my authenticity within the realm of this job search right now. It's difficult because we're living in a time, and this actually is not just now, it actually goes back to, it just goes even further back, maybe even a decade or so, with applicant tracking systems. And within there, they're looking for tools, they're looking for metrics, they're looking for titles and deliverables when you have a resume. And I believe in tailoring a resume to tell your story as an individual, especially if you are very seasoned in your career. I believe you have a story to tell. And I believe you still can structure your resume in a storytelling format and still include the necessary information that recruiters and hiring managers are looking for. But if you have an application tracking system and you toss in AI, and again, you're just looking for tools, metrics, titles, and deliverables, that resume might get bumped out, and an organization might miss a key individual that would play a key role in being a part of their organization.
Don't you see there's a disconnect there? That's from all the stories and the individuals that I've spoken with the last few months on this podcast, that seems to be the disconnect, that if you don't make it through that ATS system, what are you going to do? And your AI is basically competing with someone else's AI to get you through the door.
Yes.
It's quite remarkable how the technology has changed the job market. So is there anything that's giving you hope right now?
Say, ironically, what's giving me hope is my children. And honestly, watching their growth. I have an adult son and I have a daughter that's going away to college this year. And so my son, I get his perspective because he's been 3+ years into his first big boy job.
Okay.
And I also get input from my daughter with her applying to colleges and scholarships and how AI plays a part in both of what they're doing. My son in his role, my daughter in her search, and also just their outlook on education and the workplace. They are more fearless than I was at their age. They are like, we're going to do this the way that reflects who we are. We're not going to shortchange ourselves for anybody, any corporation, anything. And that really gives me a lot of hope, along with just my circle of friends. We call ourselves the family, and it's a group of close-knit friends that we've known each other for decades. A few of them actually know me since I was born, and they've just been uplifting me, and they've actually been telling me to not shortchange myself, to really show my talents and gifts. They're like, you have the gifts, you have the talents. This is just about to launch you even further into the stratosphere as far as your career. So do not change. Keep being who you are. So that gives me tons of hope.
And that's great advice. And hope is what we need right now.
Yes.
Thank you, LaShonte, for being on the show today. And if you're listening or watching this and thinking, hey, this sounds like me, you're not alone. And if you want to stay plugged into the real stories, real insights, and real humans behind today's broken hiring system, make sure to follow and subscribe to all our social channels for new episodes, shorts, and conversations every week. I'm Mark Lane, and this is Ghosted by the Machine. Let's make hiring human again.